Good afternoon. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing good? Had a good lunch?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Well, yes, like your teacher said it, I'm Matthew Krastel, and I'm actually a person with autism, and I'm actually thrilled to be back one last time throughout this school year. I've been here a couple times this school year, so I don't know if you may have seen me around in the hallways, getting ready to go to the next classroom and all that, because I've gone to multiple classrooms this school year, and I've been thrilled for my experience to be presenting here, presenting my autistic life. But before I begin talking about my life, I want to tell you guys some definitions of what autism is. So if you want to write these notes down, please feel free. Autism is a treatable neurological spectrum disorder which affects between 1 to 150 children, youth, and adults in BC alone. Most people that have autism see things differently than other people, and that's one of my reasons why I got diagnosed with autism. Some people that have autism may have problems learning different subjects anywhere. So if you want to write those down, please feel free. So there I am as a newborn. I was born on May 7th of 1998, and it feels great to actually be an adult now, but one day it's going to be you guys. You guys are going to reach past 19, and you're going to be like, man, does it feel good to be an adult? But that was actually the very first picture of me when I was just born. So in preschool years, I actually went to this place here in Nanaimo called the Child Development Center. I don't know if any of you guys have heard it, but lots of special events that are in the public, actually most of them, almost every year, would raise money for this building, the Child Development Center, because a lot of people that are disabled would go to this building, and I was there for 2 years. So and I definitely enjoyed it. There was a lot of friends I met there, and some I actually saw not long ago. Okay, elementary school years. I went to Uplands Park Elementary School. It's a really good school, but there were a lot of issues that were going on with myself, especially with behavior issues, and I'm going to explain to you right now. So in the first grade, I had a lot of learning problems as well as behavior issues, especially at recess. Now, have any of you guys ever seen the moments, it could even happen in this school, where you're on your lunch break, for example, and you see lots of, physical issues like fighting. Like you see all that, right? Like not every day, but there's multiple times all around the world, it happens all the time with fighting. And we just don't know how to stop it. Unless if you tell your teacher, your principals, or someone you trust. And the worst year for me was actually my grade 4 year, because I used to be a bully. I used to bully people a whole lot during that time, 10, 11 years ago. And I got into a lot of trouble from the principal for many different things, and that's the reason why. It's because I was bullying lots of people. And you can't tell about that with me now, because it was years ago when I changed that. And I'm actually going to talk a little more about that a little bit later. But my behavior did start to improve a bit throughout grades 5 to 7, but not 100%. But I'm going to tell you the 100% change in a few minutes. So in high school, I know I didn't come to this school. If you guys thought of me coming here, I wish, because I already feel like a Dover High School honorary dolphin. Thanks to Mr. Christensen. Well, actually, he lent me a free Dover Athletics t-shirt, so I wear it every once in a while to support this school. But I went to Wellington Secondary School, and it's another good high school, but it's not as huge as this school. Okay, so I'm going to begin with my moments when I first started. So grade 8, of course, you may have already felt the moment where your first day of high school in your grade 8 year was very different, right? It is different, because you meet about 2 times more of your friends that you meet from your elementary school, and you combine it with all the other schools that feed into Wellington. So 2 weeks into my first year of high school, I made lots of new friends because of that. And I also started to love going to school. Do anybody love going to school? Come on. I know, everyone gives me the look when they tell me that I love. Yeah, I don't believe them either. But School is good for you, and this is good for you. This is good for your brain in order to have a good career in the future, right? Because you want a good career that pays you lots of money, right? So school is good for you. I'm serious. Okay, I'm gonna bump to grade 11 only because grades 9 and 10 were the same as in the 8th grade. So grade 11, there was a big moment in my grade 11 year where I decided on my own to change my life completely. Now, are you guys ready for me to tell you guys a story? Yes. Are you ready? All right. So, have you guys ever had a moment in your life where you try to think of something that you remember from the past when you were like having terrible behavior, but you just wanted to improve yourself by yourself, but you didn't know how? Anybody had that moment? It actually happens to everybody. And there was one night, it was around February 2015, I tried to change my life. And I didn't know how. But I actually knew, how to change that same night. So I couldn't fall asleep one night, only because I was thinking of like several things that I remembered from over 10 years ago when I was bullying people. And I was like, how can I get that out of myself? Like, how in the world can I? So before I fell asleep, the one thing I said to myself that I did was, tomorrow, yeah, I'm serious, tomorrow, I went to school and I just went around to everybody and I apologized to every single student out there, and guess what? Once my life changed completely, all my friends in high school started to become amazing friends. And this is what it is now. So I see someone writing a note about that, that's great. Yeah, it's very easy to change, but you need to think of like, how can you do it? And an apology is a good one. And this is how I am now. And I've been like, it's crazy to believe I've been like this for almost 5 years. When we get to the new year, of course. You guys ready for me to move on? Okay. All right, grade 12. So when I was you guys' age, yes, the moment when I was you guys' age. I actually love grade 12. Grade 12, of course, was very emotional, only because like leaving everybody that I love to like hang out with. I knew a lot of people, and I still know lots. Of course, meeting you guys. But during the 2016 high school awards ceremony, I received something called a School Spirit Award. Now, I heard when I was first here in December that apparently you guys have a School Spirit Award. Is that right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I did hear from Mr. Holmes. Of course, Mr. Holmes is a good teacher as well. You're good too.
Mr. Holmes probably knows. I don't know. But it makes sense. Why wouldn't you have a School Spirit Award, right?
Well, and Mr. Holmes told me an interesting story about this person, Devin Dewick.
Oh, right.
Yes, he was the exact similar way as how I was doing here, where I received the School Spirit Award. And I wasn't expecting to win a School Spirit Award. It's something where if you show a lot of leadership and commitment to the school and community, somebody in this room could win a School Spirit Award. And I would be impressed if any of you folks get the School Spirit Award. Okay, so just for fun, I like to share a comparison of my grade 8 picture, which is on the left, and this is me here. Yes, I had facial hair, but not anymore because I looked homeless, so. That's the reason why, because ladies would think I looked homeless, so I was like, no thanks, not again. Okay, so this is a special moment I'm going to share with you guys right now. I call this the big step. And the reason I call it the big step is because here I am there. This is my actual graduation ceremony. And right here, this is a vice principal who retired that same day. His name is Mr. Mason. And right here is a special award that was gifted for him for his retirement, called the Tom Mason Wildcat Award. And Mr. Mason here was working at Wellington for over 25 years, being a teacher, and then between 2013 to 2016, he became vice principal. And he showed a lot of leadership to the school and commitment to the school and community. and they wanted to award a student that actually worked around with him a lot and showed a lot of leadership and did the exact similar thing as him. So the teachers decided to surprise the two of us with that award, and it's on a wood plaque, and I'm the very first student that won that award. And I'm going to share with you a close-up. So that's what it is. And yeah, this is hung in this Wellington hallway. So if you ever in the future go through Wellington, track that down. You're going to see it. I know they still have it somewhere.
This is a new award presented for the first time since in 2016. This award goes to a student who, much like Mr. Mason, represented the spirit of Wellington and what it takes to be alive. We are awarding a graduate who succeeded in a number of ways in the classroom, showed tremendous growth, leadership, school, and community spirit.
Thank you.
The recipient for 2016 is displayed tremendous pride in Wellington, volunteered whenever asked, and often when not asked. Was welcoming and engaging to all of the students, no attention to age, grade, or social group. The student gave countless hours to all activities at the school, large and small. And until today, seemed happy with only a school
Is
teacher.
that Mr. Littaught?
Yep.
He's going to be our principal in September. That's your new principal, grade 11.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Awarded to a Wellington graduate for outstanding service to school and community. And we are very proud of calling it the Tom Mason Wildcat Award.
Okay, be ready for the big moment in a minute.
Helps present to a deserving graduate. The recipient of the 2016 and inaugural Tom Mason Wildcat Award is Matthew Krastel.
Yeah. What did you guys think of that? That moment I actually cried. Like, you didn't see that in the footage, but just after that video stopped, I was just sitting down and I was crying because it was a surprise. We didn't expect this to happen. So after that day, I just felt very disappointed to leave all my friends I've known for a long time, and I know that's going to happen to you ladies. Well, it happens to everybody every year, and the only question that's going to come into everybody's mind, including yours, is when will you see them next? Because you don't know where they're going to go to. Will they stay here in Nanaimo, or will your friends move on out of town? You don't know what to expect. You really don't. So for myself, 1 month after high school, I started working at this store called Lowe's. Raise your hands if you guys have been there. Okay, I hope everybody. Well, most, that's good. And I'm a loader, so I load lots of heavy things into people's vehicles. Trust me, you should see me lift a fridge. Well, okay, I don't do it by myself, but I get a good group of people, and we load a lot of heavy stuff. So there's one question I wanted to ask you guys, and I wanted you guys all to think about this into your own mind, which is, how can you show your school spirit to your school? This is a good note for you guys to write down. How can you show your school spirit to Dover? There's numerous ways where you can, and you don't have to tell me an answer because it's going to take you time to answer it. It took me, for myself, actually not a whole lot of time. I actually knew something by myself, and true enough, I won those 2 big awards, school spirit. And I didn't even expect to win. I was like, really? Am I that good? But I am. So that kind of wraps up. So this is now the time where if you guys have any questions, this would be the time now. Yes.
Do you have like a roommate or do you live by yourself?
I live by myself. Adam is actually my boyfriend. Right now he's living in Duncan, but he's actually visiting me this week, so I'm glad I brought him here to check it out in real life. But once he is planning on moving to Nanaimo, but he's not going to move in with me because we've only been together since April 1st. So, but he eventually, like, I don't mind living by myself. Like I have enough money to live and get food and spend it on treating myself with something fun. Because I went on 2 vacations by myself before, within this year and last year. And it was a lot of money, but it was worth it. Hard work does pay off. That's a good quote.
Where did you go?
I actually went to Coquitlam. Yeah, it's a city I'm really used to going around, and I love that city.
Right. Okay.
So I stayed in a fancy hotel even,
Nice.
the Executive Plaza. It's a tall building. Anybody else? Yes.
Are you still connected with a lot of your high school friends?
Yes, actually. I still connect with them through social media. And yeah, I do see, it's hard to count how many, but this is what happens when I know over thousands of people. I know over lots of people, even some from out of town. But yeah, I still connect with many of them, as many as I can. But yes, there is a lot. Yeah.
Do you want to like travel outside of the country at all?
Actually, no.
No?
No.
What's that?
Well, I have traveled to the United States 11 years ago to go to Disneyland.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was really teeny at the time. But the reason I don't like to go out of Canada is because I watched this show called Cops. It was released in 1989. Every single footage from that show was actually all filmed in the United States. And you see all these people getting arrested, they're all in the US, not Canada. So I believe Canada is a safer country. And yes, I'm a Trump hater. All right. Anybody else? Any question? Yes.
Did you have any favorite classes in high school?
Yes. My number one is PE. I love PE. Actually, in grade 12, I actually did it twice. I know I'm lucky when I say that because one, I peer tutored, and you're gonna be complaining to me when I tell you this. I peer tutored an all ladies PE class. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I actually remember this one memory where my teacher that was teaching the class, she actually a few times asked me to make my choice of what the ladies should do for warm-ups. So Joe, I said, we're always gonna do a run outside. It's a run. It's a good warm-up to start a PE class, and they're all complaining. And every time when I hear about, and I even heard one girl in this class once say, I just heard her say it, like just to somebody else, and I was like, oh, I just hope we don't do a run. I was like, that's a great idea. So we did. And I was like, yeah, I know, you shouldn't have said it.
Did you run with them now?
Actually, no, I just tracked time. I wish I could, but I was instructed by the teacher to watch the time. But I was a good runner. I was a good runner. I actually won a lot of runs. Yeah, yeah.
You run now?
Yeah, I run every once in a while. Yeah.
Were you on any sports teams in high school?
Nope, but I do. But now the toughest thing is what team should I cheer for? Because of my Wellington t-shirts and the Dover Athletics t-shirt. So, should I really cheer for the Wellington Wildcats or the Dover Dolphins?
Dover.
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't you have one? Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, anybody else had a question? Yeah, sure.
How many schools have you been to present your story?
I presented here. This is the only school I presented at this school year, but I presented in Rock City a couple times, Koltai. My high school, a year after I graduated, I decided to go back and present to grade 8s. And that's the only schools I've been to so far. Like, I'm still going to keep going with this. And it's not just myself that's wanting to keep going, but more importantly, it's the schools, like you guys. Like, I was never expecting to come back. like I was like, when I was told that to come back, I was like, I think that's a great idea. And yeah, and Adam's the one that's wanting to keep me going. Because he's trying to make me want to do what I want to do. Anybody else? Yeah.
How did Adam meet?
So around the end of February, he decided to add me on Facebook. So I was like, okay. No, but there's more to this. I promise, there's more. So we started messaging each other, and it's funny because I honestly thought he saw my presentation in real life here. So I asked him, did you see me at Dover? And he was like, no, I live in Duncan. So, okay, so he wanted to get to know me. So we messaged each other all the time and FaceTimed all the time. And then 1 month later, April 1st, yes, it was not an April Fool's joke. We started to be together. And it's almost 2 months on June 1st. And eventually, one day soon, I'm actually thinking about having Adam being involved in my presentation after several months, once he starts small and makes his way up. I'm thinking about making him come in with me, mainly because another fact about Adam is he has the exact similar ways as me. He has autism. He's diagnosed for the exact similar reasons, and I've never come meet any other guy like you. I know, I'm getting the tears almost.
And I've got some questions.
Yeah, do you have a question? Sure.
Yeah. How many hours a week do you work?
I only work about 24 hours a week.
Okay. How about this? When you got the award, were your parents there?
The Tom Mason Wildcat Award? Or both?
Yeah, the
Well,
big award at the big grad.
At the Port Theater, yeah.
Yeah.
They were there. They were the ones that filmed that footage.
Sorry.
The guy's not getting paid much anyway. So.
My dad was the one that filmed that footage I showed you.
Okay.
So yeah, they were there.
So were they crying?
Kind of. I was crying the most, and I was like, you know, Mom and Dad, I'm not excited to graduate. I was actually not excited. I didn't even throw my grad cap up in the air. Nope. I had a reason. It was because the only people that throw grad caps up in the air is whoever's excited to graduate. For me, no thanks. I'm not gonna. I would just wish I would still keep going with it, but sadly not. But after the graduation piece, this is when I started presenting in the slideshow format, and I went to my very first high school at Coltai Elementary. And then after that, everyone was so interested. And I was like, man, I should keep going. And I did. And I'm gonna keep continuing it, and I'm just glad to especially be here to present numerous times to a whole bunch of students. Because I've presented at this school year, I presented to, I'm guessing between 600 to 700. And all the grade 8s up 250 of them. That's a big change. I was like, wow. And I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. Do you have another question?
Yeah. Were you nervous the first time you presented?
Actually, no. The only time I'd be nervous is if my parents were here. I'm serious. Adam doesn't get me nervous.
Okay.
Nope. Anybody else? Last call for any questions?
Are you planning on going to university?
No. I'm just sticking with my part-time job and just presenting in schools. I think I had a good plan for the future.
If you were to go, which subject would you most be interested in?
Mainly trying to be maybe a behavior consultant, because I actually know a lot of behavior consultants over the years. So, and apparently they go to university for that. Apparently they do. I don't know. I could be wrong about getting a degree in university before you become a professional behavior consultant, but I don't know.
Probably get one on the black market.
Nice one.
Thanks.
All right. Last call. Anybody else? Sure.
What's your favorite thing to do if you're not working or presenting to
I don't know, hanging out with Adam, watching South Park, and just going out on adventures. Because I took Adam on a lot of adventures and getting him to know more of Nanaimo. Because around, I think, apparently late August, he's going to be a Nanaimo citizen. And that's going to make me so happy. I'm gonna almost try not to cry.
Issues for him.
All right. Anybody else? Nobody?
Okay.
All right. Well, one more thing. I just have a website called www.mmkrastel.wix.com/mysite. I got lots of interesting things on there, including presentation videos and other stuff that's fun. And I'm going to be upgrading it this summer. So there's going to be a lot more new stuff coming up on there this year. And I also got business cards. And this is your first time getting brand new ones I made this year. The other ones got the older ones, actually except the grade 8s. But yeah, that wraps it up. And I guess if you or somebody want to pass around my business cards. Great. Yeah, well, I'm great because I'm glad to be back here and presenting what I call my autistic life. And yes, your teacher said it, I am Matthew Krastel, and I'm thrilled to be here and just to share with you guys my life with autism. But there's one thing I need to get to first. Before I get to that, I want to give you guys 3 definitions of what autism is. So this is something you're going to want to write down in your sheet. Autism is a treatable neurological spectrum disorder that affects between 1 to 150 children, youth, and adults in BC alone. Most people that have autism see things differently than others. And that's one of the reasons why I got diagnosed with autism. And thirdly, some people that have autism may have problems learning different subjects anywhere. So yeah, please write all those down. Because that's definitely important to know what a person with, like myself, with autism is like. The beginning of my life, this is me as a newborn. I was born on May 7th of 1998. And yeah, it's hard to believe I'm now 21 years of age and an actual legal adult. And that was actually the very first picture of me from when I was born. My preschool years, I went to a building called the Child Development Center here in Nanaimo. It's basically a specialty type of a school that's here in Nanaimo. And actually, most of the public events that you may have heard of that happen near like the waterfront and stuff, they all would raise money for the Child Development Center for those people who are disabled like myself. And there was a lot of people when I went to preschool for 2 years. There was actually a lot of people I met who were almost the same way as me. Everybody is different. My elementary school years, I went to a school called Uplands Park Elementary. Such a good elementary school, but there was a lot of issues I had here in this school that I'm going to talk to you about right now. And I'm going to start off in the first grade. So since my start of grade 1, I had a lot of learning problems, but mostly behavior issues, especially at recess. Now, have you guys ever, of course, you all seen the moments before where you're in recess and you see a lot of like bullying and like bad behavior, right? It happens to every school all the time. And it's hard to stop that and have people become more respectful. For me, in grade 4 was actually the worst school year because, to tell you the truth, over 10 years ago, I used to bully lots of people. And that's the main reason why I went to the principal for many different reasons. And the main reason was I was bullying people and making fun of people. And yep, I was there almost every couple days just because I went to the principal. And throughout grades 5 to 7, it did start to improve, but not 100% as how it is now. But there is a better moment that I'm going to share with you guys in a few minutes of how I really changed. So in high school, unfortunately, I did not come to this high school, but I went to Wellington Secondary School. And yes, I was here in the school a few times, if you guys have seen me anywhere around the hallways throughout the December and January. I was here presenting to numerous of other classes, as well as Miss Gregson's first semester Social Justice 12 in the first semester, and that was a great time. But this is the 5th time I've been presenting in this school, and I can't tell you how thrilled and honored I am to present here. But Wellington Secondary School was a great high school as well, and I'm going to share with you guys more memories now, beginning in when I was in grade 8. Now, of course, when you folks were starting grade 8, I'm guessing if you were at here in grade 8 or another high school, of course, it's very different. And the main reason for that is you actually meet 2 times more students than you would from just your elementary school in general. But 2 weeks into my first year of high school, I made lots of new friends, and I also started to love going to school. How many students in here love school? Okay, at least one. Okay, good. That makes me happy.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Well, we have one student. In my last class, in the last block when I was presenting in here, I asked that question and nobody answered. So I was like, ugh. But school is fun, and I'm glad you love school. That's good for you. It's really good. But I still wish I was in school. But anyways, grade 11, my biggest moment. The reason I'm bumping to grade 11 now is only because grades 9 and 10 were different, like literally the same as grade 8, but grade 11 was different. So there's a big moment here where I decided to change my life completely. Now, I'm ready to tell you guys a story. Are you guys ready for me to tell you guys a story? Ready? Okay. So, have you ever had a moment in your life where you try to think of something in your sleep, where you're remembering from the past where you used to be terrible, but you wanted to improve and really go better? Has that happened to you in your sleep before you ever fall asleep? Yeah, it happens to almost literally everybody out there. It happened to me that one night, February 2015. I was trying to fall asleep one night, and I couldn't fall asleep because I was curious to know how could I change by myself. Because usually it takes you with a counselor, a teacher, or a principal to help you change. But I didn't go through that. I wanted to try to do it by myself, but it's a challenge, to change your life by yourself. And even without your parents, it's usually even a parent would be the one that would help you change, but I did this by myself. So when I tried to go to sleep, before I fell asleep, the one thing that came into my mind was this. Tomorrow, when I go to school, I need to go around and I need to apologize to every single student out there. And this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Once my life changed completely, all of my friends in high school started to become amazing friends. And this is where I'm at now. You see me in a kind and polite mood, whereas 10 years ago, you wouldn't have seen me like this. You would see me making fun of people. And that all went away because of this. In grade 12, when I was you guys' age, my final year of high school was very emotional. It's definitely an emotional time. And during the 2016 high school awards ceremony, I received something called a School Spirit Award. Now, I did hear when I was presenting here in December that there is a School Spirit Award apparently in this school, which is a good thing. And if anybody I ever hear wins a School Spirit Award in this school, I would be impressed. Because there's numerous ways where you can actually win that type of an award. It's where you show lots of leadership and commitment to school and community, and that's what school spirit means. So if you are a respectful person all the time to students and the staff and principals, you would deserve it. So just for fun, I'd like to share with you my comparison between my grade 8 picture on the left, and this is me when I was you guys' age, in grade 12, graduating at Wellington. Yes, I had facial hair, but yeah, that was just like to do that just because I don't have my yearbook, so I just like to share it in my PowerPoint. All right, this is a special moment I'm really proud to share with you guys right now called The Big Step. And I call it The Big Step mainly because first of all, here I am there. This is my graduation ceremony at the Port Theatre. And this is a person, he was a vice principal at Wellington. His name is Mr. Mason. And he was just retiring at the time. And he was working at the school for 25 years as a teacher and then a vice principal. And for his retirement, the teachers decided to surprise him with this special award called the Tom Mason Wildcat Award, mainly because he was showing a lot of commitment and leadership to the school. And they wanted to award a student, a grad student, that did that same thing. And I was the one that won that award. Now here's what the award looks like. And this is hung in the hallway in Wellington. And I'm the very first student that won this award, and it's on a wood plaque, which is really sweet, and it was a big surprise for all of us. And I'm actually going to share with you guys a video of the moment when I was winning that award, and it was a big surprise for all of us. It's something that I would like to share with you guys because it was an emotional moment in the grad ceremony.
This is a new award presented for the first time since 2016. This award goes to a student who, much like Mr. Mason, represented the spirit of Wellington and what it takes to be a wildcat. We are awarding a graduate who succeeded in a number of ways in and out of the classroom, showed tremendous growth, leadership, school, and community spirit. The recipient for 2016 has displayed tremendous pride in Wellington, volunteered whenever asked, and often when not asked to, was welcoming and engaging to all other students with no attention to age, grade, or social group. The student gave countless hours to all activities at the school, large and small. And until today seemed happy with only a school t-shirt. Thank you. The plaque to this award reads, awarded to a Wellington graduate for outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to school and community. And we are very proud of calling it the Tom Mason Wildcat Award. Now let's present to our deserving graduate. He's a big son. The recipient of the 2016 and inaugural Tom Mason Wildcat Award is Matthew Krastel.
What did you guys think of that? Emotional, was it?
Was that your mom standing up there then and your dad? They were filming, you said, right?
Yeah, they were the ones that filmed it. And you didn't see it in the footage because it was just stopped. It was just after that was filmed. I was crying. Only because it was a big surprise. We weren't expecting this at all. None of us. Not even my grad class. And it was just an emotional feeling. Like, I was never excited to graduate high school. So it was just, I just felt so disappointed just to leaving friends I've known for a long time. But the one question that even you folks will face and think about when you graduate is this one question. When will you see your friends next? Because that's the question I still face. And you don't even know when you'll see them next. You really don't know. And just 1 month after I finished high school at Wellington, I started working at a place called Lowe's. It's a really good place to work, working there part-time. And I'm a loader. So it's basically I load a lot of heavy things into people's vehicles and stuff. And it's a pretty decent job. I've been there for 3 years already now. It's crazy to believe it's been 3 years. And now there's one question now I really want you guys to think about in your own mind for the next while. And this will also be a good question to write in your notes, which is, how can you show your school spirit to your school? How can you show your school spirit to Dover? There's a lot of different answers you can think of that. And that's a good question I would write down in your notes. Because throughout this year, and are these all grade 11s?
They're probably half 11, half 12.
Okay, so the people in grade 11, this is something you should still think about when you start grade 12, to how can you show school spirit to your school in grade 12? That's a good question to ask to yourself. And if you win a school spirit award like I did, I'd be impressed. I'm remembering that student, Devin Dewick, that Mr. Holmes told me about in December. He did that exact similar thing I did. Won a big award, similar to the Tom Mason Wildcat Award. And he literally, I can't remember what the award it was called, but it was something similar to the Tom Mason Wildcat Award, and it was huge.
Announcements for years, you guys, so maybe you remember listening to him do the announcements?
I did the school announcements in my grade 12 year. At Wellington, yeah, I did. Yeah, so that's something you guys should all think about for the next while. It may take you time to think about it. Maybe you'll even know an answer within a day. For me, it was within a day or two. All right, so we're gonna get into the question period now. So this would be the time now. If anybody has any questions, feel free to raise up your hands.
I'll start.
Sure.
I have a lot.
Okay.
This is a new one, and I don't know, Adam, can you go back for me, please, to the pictures of Matt in grade 8
Hold on.
and 12? Like, one thing I'm noticing here is that, like, obviously you look older, Matt, but your face is almost exactly the same position and smile.
Well, the only thing here was I was a little healthy weight at the time, but this one, yeah, okay, I look different in this one because I have facial hair, because I used to grow facial hair, but I don't anymore because for some reason over the last year and a half, just all the ladies complain to me and tell me the one thing, I need to shave because I look like I'm homeless. So.
It makes you look older, I'll say that. I don't know about homeless, but it makes you look older.
Yeah, well, thank goodness I'm not even homeless.
No, yeah.
I never was, but I know it's funny,
Tell us
right?
about your home, actually. Tell us about where you live.
So I live in an apartment suite by myself. I live by myself. And actually my place is quite entertaining because I collect singing fishes.
Oh, you collect singing fishes?
Electronic singing fishes. Like, have you ever, any of you folks heard of the big mouth billy bass?
No.
You're not gonna believe how many I got. 35.
Do you collect anything else?
Yeah, well, not too much except just singing fishes,
And
hanging them
why
on my wall.
singing fishes?
Well, I like to make my place entertaining.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, the only easy way that will make people start to laugh every time when people come to visit is by singing fishes. And also, when you enter my place, I have a security system, and it's actually a fish.
Oh.
So no price alarm security, no charging bills for security. I just do it all with the fish, free with 4 C batteries.
How does that work?
Just hanging on the wall with a motion sensor. That's what they have. They all have motion
If
sensors.
the door opens, a fish sings?
Take me to the river and don't worry, be happy.
All right. Okay.
And the crazier part is I have a fish in the bathroom motion sensor. So yeah, I'll get them laughing and scared. And the more people get scared of the bathroom, the harder I laugh. And Adam has seen that moment. Yeah, he has.
So, where's your apartment?
It's near the hospital.
So how do you get to work?
Just biking to work or take the bus, because I take transit for free
Right.
anywhere in BC.
How did you guys get here?
We took the bus.
Right.
Yeah, another thing I can introduce back there, that's Adam. It's my boyfriend, actually. We've been together since April 1st. I only met him earlier in the year, and he's actually the exact same way as how I am. He has autism, and he got diagnosed for the exact same reasons as me, seeing things different than other people. But the only difference is he was around 4 or 5 when he got diagnosed. I was around 2.5. So we have the exact similarities. And when he met me at the end of February, he was telling me all this, and I was telling him about it as well. And I was like, there we go, that was a match. 1 month later, we got together. And it was not an April Fool's joke, but I asked him, and he said yes. And I could never be more happy.
Well, we're glad you're happy. Can I go back with something else?
Yes, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
You talked about diagnosed, and Adam was 4 or 5, and you were 2 or 3, and you don't remember because that obviously you were so little, right? But you showed the Child Development Center up there, right?
That's right.
So I guess your parents recognized something, right? Do you know what your parents recognized?
Well, I wasn't diagnosed there.
Okay.
I was diagnosed at somewhere, some type of specialist somewhere in Vancouver.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I did go to the Child Development Center for just preschool.
Right.
It's only like a preschool campus.
Do you know what your mom saw that she recognized maybe I should go get some testing done?
Well, it's like
Were you talking?
Oh yeah, I was talking, not too much,
Yeah.
but I was talking. I actually had a behavior specialist with me. My mom wasn't there the whole time.
Okay.
She was only there to pick me up.
You talked about your behavior being a bully.
Yeah, that wasn't happening then.
Okay.
It was only throughout more of grade 4
Right.
in elementary school.
And you were recognized then. They would have realized that may have had something to do with being autistic, right?
It could have been.
Could have been.
I couldn't remember too much about it, even though it was 11 years ago.
Right.
So long ago now. I can't believe that's all passed so fast.
Yeah, time goes by
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to ask her?
No, I think I got them all.
Oh, okay.
Let the kids have some questions.
Yeah, I see one here. Yeah.
Why did you receive the award? Like, what significant things did you do to your high school?
Well, with Mr. Mason, let me go back here. Mr. Mason did so much to the school, and actually during that time, our school was under construction. So it was just near the end of construction, it ended on May 31st, 2016. Just between that time, just before then, Mr. Mason needed some assistance almost every morning before school. And every time I always arrived at school early, like an hour before school started. And he sees me and is like, hey Matthew, can you help me out? So I did, and I was also a sound technician throughout my grade 12 year of school. So I used to set up a lot of school assemblies and stuff. I've been a master with sound mixing boards for 8-9 years now. So I was doing a whole lot of that in grade 12, and me and Mr. Mason were involved a lot in setting up assemblies, and he used to also tell me about assemblies coming up as well. So that was another huge moment for winning that specialty award. And it's going to keep continuing every school year because another grad student will win that same thing for the same reason. And the only question I can only ask myself is, who will win it this year? We don't know. We won't know until the end of June when the grad ceremony happens at the Port Theater. And yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else? Yeah.
How old were you when you moved out on your own?
I was actually 18.
Wow.
I didn't expect to move out that soon. It was actually 7 months after I graduated, January 2017. It wasn't the beginning of the new year. It was just the month, just
Why
near
did
the
you
end.
move out? That's pretty young to move out.
Well, I know I'm gonna be funny when I say this, but
Okay.
I just didn't like being parented. I know that sounds funny, but I just really wanted to live by myself for so long, and I was so lucky to have that moment when I was 18. Yeah, there's a lot of changes happen in life, especially now that I met Adam, and I'm just glad he's in my life. I have business cards, including a website right there. It's also on my business cards as well. That's www.mmcrastel.wix.com/my-sites. I got lots of presentation videos and information about me. And I have cards, so I don't know if you want it. Yeah, please, if you want to. And that wraps up my presentation. Thank you very much for having me.